Hey guys, welcome to Protein Treats. Today we are going to have some extra special fun. It's actually my oldest daughter's birthday and she turns 16 today. I can't believe it. And I asked her yesterday, what kind of cake do you want for your birthday? And she asked for carrot cake. Now, I make carrot cake at home and I make it with no flour. I make it with actually not even flaxseed, not even chia seed. I use some coconut, I use some carrots, I use some zucchini, and I actually use some pumpkin puree. So it's incredibly healthy. It's got tons and tons of veggies in it. The kids absolutely love it, and as you can tell, they love it enough that my daughter asked specifically for that cake for her birthday. So I thought, well, I'll invite all you guys in today into my kitchen, and I'm actually gonna make my daughter's birthday cake with all of you, and you guys can follow along and I'll show you how easy it is to make a super yummy cake that you can serve to your kids even on their birthday. So let's get started. Today you're gonna need a big can of pumpkin puree. It's about 28 ounces or almost 800 milliliters. You're gonna need 2 cups of dried coconut. Make sure it's not sweetened. You're gonna need 2 cups of unflavored whey protein powder. We've used our Nutracelle. And you're gonna need 2 cups of shredded carrots and 1 cup of zucchini, just for extra goodness, and 1 cup of egg whites, the equivalent to 2 cups of sweetener. I've used a liquid stevia, but you could use a liquid sucralose, or you could even use a baking stevia if you wanted. Then I have 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and I have 2 teaspoons each of baking soda and baking powder so that the cake rises a little bit. And then I also have my spices. So I have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, and I have a teaspoon of ginger and a teaspoon of nutmeg, and then I have 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves, and that'll just give it a really nice flavor. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start mixing all this stuff up together, and I'll show you just how easy it is to make a super yummy and super healthy protein birthday cake. Okay, so we're gonna mix our dry ingredients together first, and then we're gonna mix up our wet ingredients, and then we're gonna combine them. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my dried coconut. The great thing about coconut is it's really, really high in fiber, and it gives things such a nice flavor, especially if you're making a cake. And then tons and tons of protein. We want this to be a super filling cake. And then we're gonna add in all of our yummy spices and go ahead and put those in. Now you can also use like a pumpkin pie pre-mixed spice if you don't wanna do it, or you can even just use cinnamon if you don't have, cloves and you don't have ginger. So play around a little bit. You want it to be what you like. And we're putting in our baking powder and our baking soda, and we're just gonna mix this up so that it's nice and even all the way through, and then we're gonna dump that into our wet ingredients once we're ready. So there you go. You can see we've got it mixed up really nice. It actually smells really good too, and we've got it all ready to go. Now, if you don't have unflavored protein, you can actually use a vanilla protein powder. Just reduce the amount of sweetener that you use by about, I would say, 1/2 cup. And then again, you wanna not use the extra vanilla. So I'm doing that because we're using an unflavored today. And in our mixing bowl here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put in our pumpkin puree and just dump that right in. And then we're gonna add in our egg white. Now you can use real egg whites from cracked eggs, or I've used the egg whites actually that come in the little cartons, and I find those really easy to cook with when you're measuring out a lot of egg whites. And then I've put in our liquid sweetener. Make sure I get all the little drops out, and give it a quick swirl. And we're just gonna mix this up a little bit. Okay, so while that's mixing, we're gonna add in our vanilla. And then we're gonna add in our zucchini. Just dump it right in there. Doesn't have to be perfect, look at that. And same thing, we're gonna start dumping in our carrots a little bit at a time. Try not to make a big mess like I just did. Okay, so once you have your wet ingredients nice and mixed, we're gonna start to put in our dry ingredients. And it's easier to do it just a little bit at a time. So we'll just put in a couple of scoops at a time, make sure that we blend it really well, and then keep going. Now, every once in a while, you're gonna lift up the head of your mixer and you're just gonna scrape the sides so that you make sure you get everything mixed really nicely. Go ahead and add some more of your dry ingredients. We'll scrape the sides again, and then we're just gonna add in the rest of our dry ingredients and let it mix for a minute or so, and then we'll be ready to pour it into our pan. Make sure you scrape your sides really good. Get all the yummy goodness in there. And look at that, it's the perfect consistency. We're going to go ahead and put it in our pans, and I'm just gonna show you guys what I've done. Now, I've used a springform pan, but you can use any kind of pan. You can use a 9 by 13 inch, or you can use 2 of the round 9 inches, for example. But one thing that you are gonna wanna do, because it is a heavy cake, is you're gonna wanna use some parchment paper. So I've put parchment paper on the bottom like this, and then I've also sprayed the sides with some coconut oil. And that's gonna make sure that it doesn't stick, and it's gonna be really easy to get out of the pan later. So when you put it in, you don't have to be perfect. You're gonna put about half your batter in the one pan and the other half in the other, and we're gonna stick it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes or so. You're gonna wanna keep an eye on it and do the toothpick test, but we'll show you when we get there. So this is the consistency of your batter, and it's pretty much just like any other cake batter, except ours is full of protein, full of fiber, no sugar, and almost no carbs. So it's super yummy. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour this right into our pan. Pour it into our second pan. There we go, just like that. We're gonna smooth everything out so that it's nice and flat and cooks up. You wanna try and get it pretty smooth. So just go ahead with your spatula and go around and around. Make sure that you get it nice and smooth, because it's not gonna settle like a normal, like a traditional cake with flour. So go right ahead, make it pretty. There we go. Now for this recipe, we're gonna link down below for our cream cheese icing. So I make a protein cream cheese icing that's super delicious. The link will be down below, so make sure you check that out. We're gonna stick these in the oven now for about 45 minutes, but we're gonna keep an eye on them, and we'll be able to see in a couple of minutes how they turned out. Look at this, it turned out absolutely perfect. Now when you have this in the oven and you're gonna take it out, you can either tap the top of it and it should feel fairly firm to the touch, or take a little knife or even a toothpick and make sure it comes out clean. That way you know that it's completely cooked. And this looks amazing, it's going to taste amazing, and I know normally I take it out of the pan and I try a little bite for you guys, but because this really is my daughter's birthday cake, we're not gonna do that today. I'm gonna go ahead and decorate it and make it super beautiful for her, and we'll show you some pictures of how it turns out. And don't forget about the cream cheese icing that we're gonna be using. The link is gonna be in the description down below, and the recipe for this yummy, yummy, super healthy cake is also gonna be in the description down below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of it. Make sure you comment, make sure you like, and definitely make sure that you subscribe so that every week you get more of our healthy, yummy recipes. Thanks, guys.